Hello, and welcome back to Understanding Depression, your safe and mindful space to learn, reflect, and feel less alone. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment if something resonates with you, and share this episode with someone who might need it. Your support helps more people find this space of learning and empathy. In today's episode, we'll be exploring a very important topic: the different types of depression. You might have heard terms like Major Depressive Disorder, Persistent Depressive Disorder, or even Atypical Depression. But what do these really mean? How are they different from each other? And most importantly, how do they affect people's lives in real, concrete ways? Understanding the various forms of depression isn't just about labeling conditions. It's about helping people find the right support, reducing stigma, and empowering ourselves to respond with empathy rather than judgment. So I invite you to stay with me throughout this episode, especially if you've ever wondered, why do some people seem to struggle for years while others go through shorter but intense episodes? Is there really such a thing as mild depression? Can high-functioning individuals still have depression without even realizing it? Let's begin this journey with the most well-known type, Major Depressive Disorder, or MDD. Major Depressive Disorder is what many people think of when they hear the word depression. According to the World Health Organization, depression affects more than 280 million people worldwide, and MDD is one of the leading causes of disability across all age groups. MDD is characterized by a persistently low mood, loss of interest or pleasure in daily activities, fatigue, sleep disturbances, changes in appetite, feelings of worthlessness, and even thoughts of death or suicide, lasting at least 2 weeks, but often longer. Mark, a 35-year-old graphic designer, found himself unable to get out of bed most mornings. Once a passionate artist, he hadn't opened his sketchbook in weeks. Even the smallest tasks, like replying to a message or making breakfast, felt overwhelming. After 2 months of struggling silently, he finally spoke to a mental health professional and was diagnosed with MDD. This story is more common than many people realize. MDD can appear suddenly or gradually, and while some people might recover with treatment, others may face recurring episodes over time. Therapy, medication, and lifestyle changes have all shown to be effective treatments, especially when combined. Next, let's talk about a subtler, but equally challenging type of depression: persistent depressive disorder, or dysthymia. Unlike major depression, which can come in intense episodes, dysthymia is more like a chronic emotional fog that lingers for years. According to the DSM-5, it must last for at least 2 years in adults, or 1 year in children and adolescents. People with dysthymia might not feel completely hopeless, but they often describe their mood as always low, flat, or just never quite happy. Sarah is a 42-year-old teacher who has felt down for as long as she can remember. She can function, go to work, take care of her kids, but every day feels like she's just going through the motions. She doesn't cry often, but she also can't recall the last time she felt truly joyful. For years, she believed this was just her personality, until therapy helped her uncover that she had persistent depressive disorder. That's the tricky part with dysthymia. It often goes undetected. According to a study published in the Journal of Affective Disorders, people with PDD may be less likely to seek treatment because their symptoms feel like a normal part of life. But when properly diagnosed, treatments like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and certain antidepressants can be life-changing. If you often feel numb, emotionally exhausted, or stuck in a low mood for years, this might be worth looking into. Now let's explore bipolar depression, a condition that often gets misunderstood and misrepresented. Bipolar disorder is often mischaracterized in movies and media as simply mood swings, but clinically, it's much more complex than that. Bipolar depression refers to the depressive phase of bipolar disorder, a condition that includes periods of depression and episodes of mania or hypomania. During the depressive episodes, symptoms can mirror major depression: deep sadness, fatigue, hopelessness, and even suicidal ideation. However, during manic or hypomanic phases, a person may feel euphoric, unusually energetic, have racing thoughts, or engage in impulsive behaviors. Devon, a 29-year-old musician, described periods where he could write music for 20 hours straight without sleep, feeling on top of the world. But these highs would be followed by weeks of darkness, where getting out of bed felt impossible and every chord sounded meaningless. After years of confusion and misdiagnosis, he was finally diagnosed with bipolar II disorder. There are different subtypes: bipolar I, where manic episodes are more severe, and bipolar II, where hypomania is milder but depression is more dominant. Treatment usually involves a combination of mood stabilizers, therapy, and careful monitoring, because using antidepressants alone without stabilizers can actually worsen the manic phases. If someone you care about shows both extremes, crashing lows and bursts of uncharacteristic energy, it might be more than just a mood swing. Let's now talk about a type of depression that often hides behind smiles and baby photos: postpartum depression. This condition affects women after childbirth, typically within the first few weeks or months, but it can also begin during pregnancy. While it's common to experience baby blues due to hormonal shifts and sleep deprivation, postpartum depression is more severe and persistent. Symptoms may include overwhelming sadness, difficulty bonding with the baby, irritability, anxiety, feelings of worthlessness, and even intrusive thoughts. Anna, a 33-year-old first-time mom, gave birth to a healthy baby boy. Everyone assumed she'd be glowing with joy, but inside, she felt numb. She cried in secret, struggled to feel connected to her baby, and felt like a failure. It took her months to tell her partner what she was feeling. With help from a therapist and support group, she began her journey toward healing. According to the CDC, about 1 in 8 women experience symptoms of postpartum depression, but due to shame and stigma, many don't reach out. It's crucial to know, PPD is not a reflection of parenting ability. It's a real, treatable condition. Now, let's explore atypical depression. Despite the name, atypical depression is actually more common than people realize. What makes it atypical is not that it's rare, but that its symptoms differ from traditional depression. For example, instead of insomnia, people with atypical depression often sleep too much. Instead of losing appetite, they may eat more, especially cravings for carbs. They might feel heaviness in their limbs or experience extreme sensitivity to rejection. Daryl, a 24-year-old college student, often felt overwhelmed by sadness, but only in certain situations, especially after social rejection. He could still laugh at jokes or enjoy music, but the heaviness in his body and desire to sleep all day lingered. He thought he was just lazy, until a psychologist diagnosed him with atypical depression. This form of depression often responds well to certain antidepressants, and therapy can be very effective too. Finally, let's talk about seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. SAD is a type of depression that follows a seasonal pattern, most commonly appearing in the late fall and winter months. It's believed to be linked to a lack of sunlight, which disrupts our biological clock and affects mood-regulating chemicals like serotonin and melatonin. Symptoms include low energy, oversleeping, weight gain, and social withdrawal, like going into hibernation mode. Rachel, a 30-year-old architect, noticed that every winter she would lose motivation, struggle to concentrate, and feel unusually down. But when spring returned, so did her energy and creativity. After tracking her symptoms for 2 years, she was diagnosed with seasonal affective disorder. SAD affects around 5% of the U.S. population, according to the American Psychiatric Association, and is more common in regions with longer winters. Treatments include light therapy, vitamin D supplements, and in some cases, antidepressants. To make things clearer, here's a simple comparison of the types we've discussed: Major Depressive Disorder, intense and disabling symptoms, lasting at least 2 weeks. Persistent Depressive Disorder, chronic low mood lasting at least 2 years. Bipolar Depression, alternating episodes of depression and mania or hypomania. Postpartum Depression, depression occurring after childbirth, often with emotional numbness or disconnection. Atypical depression includes mood reactivity, increased sleep and appetite, and sensitivity to rejection. Seasonal affective disorder, depression linked to seasonal changes, especially in winter. Each type is unique, but they all deserve understanding and compassion. If any part of this episode resonated with you or someone close to you, please know that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Thank you so much for joining me. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe, like, comment, and share it with someone who might need it. Until next time.